Hello friends and potential friends. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Central Florida. A little bit cool overnight. I think it's only about 75 today, shortly after noon. I gotta tell you, when I came out here yesterday, I thought it was spring. It was about 80 degrees. The birds were going crazy. When I first walked out, there was some kind of either a hawk or an osprey had grounded out in my backyard. He caught something, and as soon as I walked out, he took off. I didn't get a good look at him, so I'm not sure whether it was a hawk or an osprey. And he was carrying either a squirrel or a fish, not sure which. Tried to get it on the camera, but I was unsuccessful at that. There were blue jays and mockingbirds and pileated woodpeckers and regular woodpeckers and squirrels running around. Everybody thought it was spring. They say we may have some cooler weather coming in the next few days. Personally, I hope it stays up in the panhandle and doesn't come down here onto the peninsula. But anyway, let's take a walk around, and I promised some of my friends up in the farther north that I'd give them an occasional green fix. So let's just walk around and see what we can see. Got some rosemary out here, still doing well. And a tomato my friend brought me that I still need to get in the ground. There's my horseradish over here. Mulberry has dropped all its leaves. I hope it makes it. And there's a little elderberry that's still hanging in there. Got a couple of Japanese plums down here. My gardenia bush is still doing pretty good. Turmeric is starting to die off, but the rosemary is still, or the ginger, I'm sorry, still doing good. I said rosemary because there's more rosemary right down here in front of the ginger. Lemongrass is going to seed. And one of my aloes has decided to flower. I picked all the ripe datel peppers off of these two bushes about a week ago. And there's 4 or 5 more that are ripening up out here now. Pineapples, still doing good, not producing any fruit right now. But I still have hopes for them. And my blueberries still hanging in there, no fruit this year. There's the other datel pepper. And it's got a couple of ripe ones on there. And over in the beds, got some rosemary planted out here at the end. These are Roma tomatoes, and there are a lot of flowers on these. I'm coming by and playing bumblebee with them once in a while because we don't have a whole lot of pollinators out here. But some of those look like they're starting to try to produce some fruit. Plenty of blossoms. Down here at the end, I've got a few Amish pastes that are still hanging in there. No blossoms on them yet. Those are some that got hit by the worms real bad when I first planted them out here back in October. Next bed up, we have my kale. One of these is red Russian, the other is blue something or other. But the kale's growing fairly good. Swiss chard came up just sporadically. I've got lettuce over here. I'm getting a salad about every day out of this garden. And a couple weeks ago I planted another couple rows of lettuce to see if that's going to make it. And we get into a few more tomatoes. I believe these are more Romas that my friend brought me. And then the part that I'm really proud of is the cilantro. This is the first year I've been able to grow cilantro. This is slow bolt cilantro that I got from M.I. Gardner. And it's actually doing real good out here. Yeah, I'll swing back around here and try to get out of the sunlight. Stop making shadows. These are the delicious beefsteak tomatoes. And I've been pollinating them as well. Still a few blossoms on them here and there. And what I'm happiest with, if you can see this guy, I can't see the camera, so I've got a little tomato growing here. There are a couple more small ones in amongst here, but that one is the biggest one I've seen so far. Then we get into the mustard greens. I've been eating a few of these. And then the collard greens. These are from my friends up in the Carolinas. Homesteading the Hard Way sent me these seeds, and they're doing pretty good too. Like I said, I've been getting a salad out of here just about every day. I really look forward to when I can start getting my own tomatoes to add to the salad. And now we're back in the compost pile, hiding under all the trees. Sweet potatoes are still growing back here pretty good. They do not get nearly enough sunlight to be happy, but they are still growing. And I got that one sugar cane that's still popping up there, and a couple of onions that came up from some scraps I threw in here a while back. And I've still got a little, what I still think is poison ivy. I'm not touching it. I don't need it. I'm not gonna get it on me. And of course this is Florida, so we still have hibiscus blooming here and there. There's a little orange one if I can get the light just right. And a pretty red one down here. I'm a little bit fumbly because I bought a new gimbal for my phone a couple weeks ago, and I haven't really gotten used to using it yet. I'm hoping that it will make things a little more steady for you. And another hibiscus over here. A few more hibiscus back in this corner. And starting at the bottom. There's the Moringa, still going good. Oop, little bit breeze. Hopefully it won't hit the microphone. Sugar cane, still growing fairly good. I'm gonna have to get out here and mow pretty soon, which is pretty unusual for January. This is January 17th. Let's see. What am I trying to look at here? Oh, the fig tree. It's still not very tall, but it is still growing. There's a few more flowers back here in the corner. These are, I've always called these honeysuckles, because when you pull them flowers off and suck the juice out of the end of them, it tastes just like honey. Now we'll walk back here in the corner, headed for the east side of the yard. And there's the loquat that I put out in the dirt. Still growing pretty good. Gets fairly good sunlight back here. And then over here in the corner, in the shade already, is my ponderosa lemon. Now, I got big hands, but that lemon is pretty good size. Tell you how big my hands are. I used to be able to palm basketballs when I was 16 years old. That thing's the size of a big grapefruit. And we still have a few little ones coming on. And there's one more over here in the sunlight, still all green. It's almost time to pick that one. I'm gonna have to learn how to make lemon meringue pie. And I have plans also. I'm gonna get the seeds out of that and start growing them. So I wanna get some more ponderosa lemons going in a better spot than this one is in. Don't see any blossoms on there right at the moment. It did have blossoms just a week or so ago. And there are still plenty of little lemons coming on here and there. But that's just a very quick look at what's growing out here in Central Florida. Things don't grow quite as fast this time of year, but they do keep growing and they keep producing. And I hope to get some tomatoes out of here before we get any cold weather. But that's about it for this trip out in the backyard. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.